mock interview day 60. Okay, we have already completed 59 mocks. So whoever watching this video on YouTube, right? If you missed it, definitely go through the playlist section, DevOps interview question and answers. In the playlist section, you can find all 59 mock interviews. This is the 60th mock interview, and we will continue the mock interviews like this. So for motivation, right? Just like this video so that we will get a motivation to upload more and to conduct more mocks. If you don't like, right? So we will not get any interest to go through, right? And yeah, Sunil, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Sunil Shikalwadi, a software engineer with 5 years of experience in the industry, and my expertise spans several critical areas like modern software development and operations. I'm proficient in version control using Git, and I have a hands-on experience with continuous integration through Jenkins. In terms of configuration management, I utilize Ansible, and my skills also included containerization with the Docker and Kubernetes, enabling efficient deployment and scaling of applications. For monitoring and logging, I rely on a Grafana to ensure the system performance. Additionally, I leverage the infrastructure as a code, tools such as a Terraform. Yeah, this is my introduction. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Sunil, perfect. Your introduction is perfect, but yeah, there is some confidence is missing. Okay, you need to practice a lot so that you will become perfect. So whatever you are telling, you need to speak it with confidence.
Oh,
This is Joseph. I have total 6+ years experience as a DevOps engineer. Right now, I'm working on some MNC company. I have experience like as a source code management. I'm using Git for continuous integration and delivery. We are using Jenkins for configuration management. I'm using Ansible for infrastructure automation. I'm using Terraform. So I have expertise in this so many tools in DevOps. Okay, yeah, that's all about me. Like that, you can able to tell.
okay, sir.
Yeah, Kaustap, can you please introduce yourself and don't reveal any genuine information? Okay.
Yeah, I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are
So,
audible.
thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Kaustuv Guru. I'm having total 3 plus years of experience as a DevOps engineer. In my DevOps engineering career, I have familiarity and configured multiple DevOps tools. Like for source code, we are using the Git and for configuring like that, and also for CI/CD, we are using Jenkins tool. And then for configuration management, we are using Ansible. For orchestration, there is Kubernetes setup, and for container management, we are using Docker. And for monitoring purpose, like we are having a Prometheus and Grafana setup. That's all.
Yeah, Kaustap, you are good. Okay, like you need to maintain some script as well. So if you have a script, right, you can speak fluently and confidently. Yeah, definitely in future you will get the script. For
Yeah.
project explanation, right? For that also you will get a script. Sunil, do you know, can you able to explain your project? I hope you are prepared for the project.
Uh, yeah, present, sir. Okay.
Do you know or do you
Yes,
need to prepare?
I need to prepare, sir.
Okay, okay.
Little bit confusion on that one.
No issues.
Give me some time, sir. 1 5 to 10 minutes. I'll recall and I'll.
Oh, okay, sure. So until then, Rani will introduce herself. Yeah, hi Rani.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me here. Uh, Currently, I'm working as a cloud and DevOps engineer. I have around 3 years of experience in this domain. I have worked with many tools and technologies, including Git and GitHub as a version control system, Jenkins as a CI/CD tool to automate the software development process and streamlining it. Further, I use Docker to build the applications and for maintaining and scaling for applications we use Kubernetes, and we also deploy applications on different environment, cloud, environments such as EKS and GKE. Along with that, we use Prometheus and Grafana servers to monitor and logging. And additionally, I use Terraform to automate the provisioning of infrastructure in different cloud providers. Further, I use different cloud services of AWS such as EKS, VPC, EC2, RDS, and S3. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect, Tony. Everything is perfect. Still, you can improve a lot.
Yes,
Okay. So, shall we start the today's mock?
sure.
Okay, I will share my screen. So, today will be total scenario-based questions. So you need to deploy a microservice application, okay, with separate services for authentication, right? API and front end. So how would you set up a CI/CD pipeline for this using Jenkins? So you need to deploy a microservice application with separate services for authentication, one service, for API, one service, and front end, one service. Okay, how would you set up a CI/CD pipeline for this using Jenkins?
So for this scenario, we can have different pipelines as per the requirement, like API, front end, and like that. For that, we have to write a separate CI/CD pipeline for all the application, and then containerize it, and then we can deploy this.
Super. So whatever you said, right? You almost tried. I'm happy with that. So you need to perform in the interview. It's okay even if it is wrong. It's just a mock interview.
Yes.
Okay. So I will go to next question. So you need to store environment specific secrets securely, right? For use in the CI/CD pipelines. How would you handle this? So you need to store the environment specific secrets mean passwords securely for use in inside your CI/CD pipeline. You need to use some secrets. So how would you handle that? So answers are ready. I will show you. But you try from your side. Once it's complete, I will show the answers as well.
In Jenkins itself provide a feature of storing the secrets. For that, we have to configure the secret, like what kind of secret it is. Like if it is a AWS type of secret, like secret access key and access key. So we have to just download the plugin of that, and we can store secret and then call it in our pipeline.
Okay. So anyone want to add something?
So we can
There, yeah, go
we can
ahead.
use a Jenkins credential management, sir.
Yes,
Like a secret test and password credential
yes.
and role-based authentication.
Yes. So you need to automate infrastructure provisioning for an AWS environment. How would you design this using Terraform? So whatever the infra is there, you need to automate it. That too using Terraform.
We can use Terraform for that, and there we can create a .terraform directory. There, the Terraform will download all the providers. We can create a main.tf file. There we can mention the providers we want to use. Like
Super.
here we can use AWS, and there we can define our what kind of services we want to leverage for of AWS. Like that we can uh, automate the infrastructure, and then after the manifest file have created, we can use the Terraform command, Terraform plan, and Terraform apply. Then it will provision our infrastructure in the cloud by automation.
Super. Rather it is right or wrong, you will get to know, but at least contribution is very important. This will
Can
help
I
you in the
try?
real interviews. Definitely. If anyone want to add, definitely go ahead. Even if you want to repeat the same also, it's okay. It's a practice for you.
Okay. So if we want to automate the infrastructure on AWS cloud, first we have to collect the information that what we want to create. Then we have to plan how we are going to provision the infrastructure using Terraform. Then we have to write the TF files for all the resources that we have to create, like main.tf, variable.tf, and uh, like the resources that we provide in our main.tf. And then we have to perform all the Terraform commands, like Terraform init, Terraform plan that will show us the plan of the resources that are going to be created, and then we use Terraform apply for creating that infrastructure.
Super. Yes, you are right. So a resource failed to deploy using Terraform due to version mismatch. How would you handle this? You have written your Terraform configuration files. You while applying, right? It got failed due to some version mismatch. How would you handle that? That provider version is not supporting. So at the time, what you will do? It simply will change the version, right? You will use the supported version so that the problem will be resolved. Yes.
So this question is totally related to like provider version.
Yes.
Okay.
Resource fails to deploy using Terraform due to version mismatch. So Terraform will communicate with the right cloud how via provider itself. So when the communication is happening, the version mismatch will definitely going to happen via provider itself.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah. Okay, your Terraform state file becomes corrupted. How would you handle this? Nothing but how you will protect your state file. That's the question.
If we are facing this corrupted issue, we can have the backup file to be used. We can use that backup Terraform state backup file, and then we can handle the.
Okay, in future, I don't want to prevent again. At that time, how you will handle that?
We can store our state file to the remote backend. We can use S3 bucket for store the state file.
Super. You are right. Okay, you are asked to containerize an application requiring multiple services. How would you set this up in Docker Compose? You are asked to containerize an application requiring multiple services. How would you set up this up in Docker Compose?
We can create a Docker Compose file, and there we can uh, write the
Yes, you are right. Continue.
different. We can write container configurations for different applications, like their images. We can mention their images, and then we can
Yes,
use the Docker Compose up command to run the containers.
super. So how do you deploy a Kubernetes application with high availability? I'm not asking you direct question. Okay, I'm just asking, I've just framed the question in such a way that will confuse you. In the real time also, they will try to confuse you in interviews. So that's the reason I'm not asking you direct question. So for high availability, how you will deploy a application that too using Kubernetes.
We can have multiple replicas of pod to
Super.
gain a high availability, and
Okay.
also we can use a load balancer there, and we can
How you will maintain multiple replicas?
in the deployment manifest file
Yes.
we can mention a replica's number there
Yes, you need
in
to
a spec
mention that we
specs.
will using deployment, we can able to maintain the high availability. Okay, Kubernetes
Also, we
pod.
can use replica set here, right?
If you use deployment inside the deployment, it will use replica set itself, right?
Okay.
A Kubernetes pod is crashing repeatedly. How would you debug the issue? So right now I'm working on a project where completely depends upon the Kubernetes. Okay, troubleshooting. Recently I migrated to a new project. There I worked on total Kubernetes troubleshooting. I used to get an issues on Kubernetes. Today I worked on one issue regarding Kubernetes itself, where he cannot able to access the application via user interface in the browser. All tabs are working. Okay, there will be some home page, right? Like this file, edit, format, how you will be having in the website also you will get, right? Okay, all, like for suppose if you see all options are working, this option is not working. Okay, this option is not working. So then it is an issue with this application, not with us. As a DevOps engineer, over in my current project, my role was to support the platform. If there is any issues in the Kubernetes part, definitely as a DevOps engineer, I will resolve. If it is an issue with the application part, definitely it will be fixed by the development team. As a DevOps engineer, we will not do it. So that case was raised. So I've just mentioned them that this issue is not related and this issue will be fixed by developer, right? They need to fix because there is an issue in bug in the code. So like that you need to work and you need to troubleshoot and you need to get the issue how you need to troubleshoot. But if the pod was crashing, how you will debug that? What are the steps you will follow to debug? I got logs. How I will get the logs? If I know what it is, I will definitely ask the client and I will check.
Yes, we can use a different command to troubleshoot it, like kubectl get ports, and
Super,
then there we can get a status of the pod, what is the
super,
status, and then according to then we can uh, troubleshoot it. Then we can use a kubectl logs and then pod name or a pod ID there to troubleshoot it. In the logs, we need to check what is the error there mentioned, and according to
super.
error we can troubleshoot.
Okay, so for today's task, right? I've just whatever you said, right? What I said, I we don't have an access. That is the one of the disadvantage. They will not directly give us access of cluster. Okay, I need to connect with them. I need to guide them. So I told them to kubectl get nodes. Okay, I just check whether nodes are working or not. Then after I told them to execute kubectl get pods. Okay, in all the namespaces. So I checked the pods. Pods are working perfectly. Okay, if the pod is running and nodes are running, but still they cannot able to access the application means there is some configuration issues. So I've checked the configuration. Everything was okay. Okay, if the configuration is related to application part, definitely application team need to work on it because at the platform level everything is running perfectly. If there is an issue with the configuration file, definitely it is a developer issue. Like that, you need to check and troubleshoot in even real time. Okay, Next question, you need to deploy a new application version across multiple servers. How would you manage this using Ansible? You need to deploy a new application version across multiple servers. How would you manage this using Ansible?
Uh, we can use Ansible playbooks for this. We have to mention the version of the application for the different servers. Uh,
Super, you are right. By using Ansible playbook, definitely we can able to complete the task. And we need to enable the communication via inventories, right? First, communication is important. Then
yeah,
after you can do anything.
the worker nodes, the nodes are that we have to include in our inventory files.
Okay. So, like 10th will be you need to apply security patches across all servers. How would you approach with Chef? Via Ansible also you can able to do that. With Chef also you can able to do that. In Chef, what you will write? In Ansible you will write playbook. In Chef, I know Chef as well because Ansible is not famous during 7 years back. 7 years back, Chef and Puppet are famous tools. Companies used to use Chef or Puppet. Now the companies are preferring Ansible compared to Chef and Puppet. But in olden days, nothing but 7 to 8 years back, they used to use Chef. So in the Chef, we will use cookbooks or recipes, right? Okay, how do you set up centralized logging for microservices in Docker? How do you set up your centralized logging for microservices in Docker?
Can we use here Prometheus and Grafana?
Yes, you are right. Or we can use Elk Stack
Yes.
as well. Elasticsearch. Okay, you need to monitor an application in Kubernetes. How would you set up Prometheus and Grafana? You said Prometheus and Grafana, right? Now tell me how you will set up this Prometheus and Grafana.
Uh, we can set up Prometheus and Grafana using Helm. We can download the repositories of both of them, and then we need to install the Prometheus and Grafana, and then we need to configure and deploy it as a pod in our Kubernetes cluster.
Super, you are right. So here you can find all mock interviews. Devops mock interview. It's private. So from day one to until now, some mocks are missing. I will update. Okay, every mock you can find with question and answer. So let's check the answers. So you need to deploy an microservice application with separate services for authentication, API and front end. How would you set up a CI/CD pipeline for this using Jenkins? So each microservice has its own pipeline configuration in Jenkins. We will set up individual build, test and deploy stages for each service. Pipeline agent stages, stage, build, test, deploy. So here, okay, here they are using Ansible. Okay, it's okay. Using Ansible, it is deploying, but you just observe the pipeline steps. Okay, in the deployment, you can use Docker and Kubernetes as well. Doesn't matter, but the you just observe the process. This is important. Okay, this is the output whenever you execute. Okay, next question. You need to store environment specific secrets. Okay, securely for use in your CI/CD pipeline. How would you handle this? Use Jenkins with Archicad Vault or AWS Secrets Manager allows securely injecting secrets at build time without hard coding them. So use Vault plugin in Jenkins, right? Like that you can able to set up, or you can use credentials, Jenkins credential as well. You need to automate infrastructure provisioning for an AWS environment. How would you design using Terraform? You use Terraform configuration to manage AWS resources like EC2 instances, VPCs, and security groups. Main.tf file, right? Provider example EC2 instance creation. Terraform apply. It will create the EC2 instance. A resource fails to deploy using Terraform due to version mismatch. How would you handle this? So Terraform version constants are used in provider blocks. Yeah, you cannot leave and join. Okay, I cannot accept multiple times. So in the provider you can update it. So whenever you get an error like that, provider version requirements are not met, like that you will get. Your Terraform state file becomes corrupted. How would you handle this? Use remote state backends like S3 with DynamoDB for state locking to ensure state consistency. So this is the expected output. You have asked it to containerize an application requiring multiple watch services. How would you set this up in Docker Compose? So we will define separate services for app, DB, and frontend in Docker Compose.yml. If you see services, DB image Postgres, app image my app, frontend my frontend image, and on which port it is running. Okay, environment variable, whatever it may be, you can use like different services. Docker Compose up, it will create. How do you deploy a Kubernetes application with high availability? So we use Kubernetes deployment with multiple replicas, right? This is the deployment file. Okay, just by heart this in the interview, if they ask write a deployment file, you can able to easily write. Anyway, I will provide you the access, right? Go through the notes, you will easily able to crack any interview. Okay, Kubernetes pod is crashing repeatedly. This is a real-time interview question. How would you debug this issue? So use kubectl logs pod name or kubectl describe pod. Okay, like this you will get an error. This just a crash loop back off, whatever it may be. You need to deploy a new application version across multiple servers. Okay, using Ansible playbook, definitely you can able to do that. Okay, by defining the tasks. So if you execute, you will get this output like this. You need to apply security patches across all servers. How would you approach with Chef? In the Chef, you can use recipes. Okay, this is the recipe example. If you don't know Chef, ignore. Like this, we will write execute do done do end like that. How do you set up a centralized logging for microservices in Docker? So use Elastic Stack Elastic Kibana with Docker logging driver. Docker administrator log driver name and the URL. You need to monitor an application in Kubernetes. So how you will create a Prometheus and Grafana setup? You can use Helm charts as well. That is the latest method, or you can use a deployment of service, deployment of Prometheus and deployment of Grafana. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now my job was to update. I will update it. Okay, before that I will stop the recording.